Hello everyone, I'm Curtis Smith. I'm here with Ty Bello, the founder and president of Team at Work. Ty is a highly sought after speaker. He's written hundreds of articles, he's produced videos, and now has written a new book. And Ty, we want to talk today about your keynote addresses, but they're not really addresses. You take a very different, unique approach to the keynote address. It's called an experience. Tell us about these keynote experiences.
Sure. Thanks, Curtis. Great being with you today. So we've taken the keynote address, which you've seen many times, right? Hundreds of different venues, all these phenomenal speakers, and they really are great. And they have their own set of theatrics, if you will, that they perform up there a little bit. Well, we do the same, but we kind of ramp it up just a little bit. Our biggest thing is we want the people to have actionable items when they walk away. So we do a drama in many parts of our experience, and we get them involved. Yes, we call some up to the stage, but we get them engaged. But the big thing is, when you go to a keynote, it's a lot of note-taking. We want to go beyond that. We want them to be able to take the information that they have there from that keynote experience and be able to use it in action when they get back to their work environment.
Because that happens a lot. You go to a keynote address, you hear a lot of great points, you think, boy, I've got to get back and put 5 or 6 of these into place. And maybe you get to one of them. Right. Maybe 2 if you're really, really good.
Right.
It doesn't stick with you.
Exactly. Well, the big thing there is you go back and what do you have? You have a job. You still go back and you have to go to work.
That's
and
right.
So without that actionable item in there, and it's not a lot because we realize this, that if you give them anything more than about 3, an audience any more than about 3 actionable items in an entire keynote, they're more than likely not to be able to get to them. And science has proven that you take 7 different things to focus on in a given year, like 7 goals that you have in a year. Don't go any more than 7. Maybe if you want to stretch it to 8, but 7 is the ideal number for people to actually come close to achieving all of them. So that's our goal. Our goal is for them to walk out with an experience different than they've had before, but actionable items, takeaways that they could actually implement.
The other thing I love about these experiences, you have some really creative, unique, catchy titles that you hear these titles and you want to know more.
Good.
Let's talk about one of them, this idea that the 25 sales tips that you can learn from your mother. I feel like that doesn't apply to my mom. Are you telling me that it applies to anyone's mother?
It does. It absolutely does. And we mentioned earlier the new book. That's the book, the 25 sales tips that you could learn from your mother. And it is near and dear to my heart. It takes on a lot of personal for me. So I wrote the book in honor of my mom, who raised me as a single parent in the 1960s. And what I did was I sat and started writing out all of her little isms, the mom isms that she says. So there's common ones in there. Wait till your father gets home, that kind of stuff, right? You know, make your bed. And then there's obvious ones too, like say please and thank you. So in this setting of please and thank you, what would be the actionable item there? Well, here's something interesting you may not know. The average person will receive less than 7 personalized pieces of mail to themselves in their home a year.
Wow.
Less than 7. Okay, so if this is a semi-mixed audience of leadership and salespeople, I might say something like this to them. So sales rep, leader, you're trying to get the edge, be different. Well, instead of after that sales call, after that engagement with that person, rather than just sending an email, or maybe if you're close to them, sending them a text, thanks for the time, how about a handwritten note addressed to that person? Trust me, it's going to be one of 7 that they're going to get all year long. You want to stand out, that's the way to do it. So again, actionable items, simple, small, but something that everybody in the room can do. And it's a real game changer.
That's been a real change in our society. We used to get so much more mail, so much more personal correspondence. Now it really feels like someone is going out of their way to make a personal connection with you.
Absolutely. You don't skimp, by the way. Don't go and print the labels with your address on it. Really handwrite those things out there. I mean, that's just another thing to validate the personal touch that you had with that person.
Let's talk about another experience.
Sure.
Boot camp cadence for every business. Boot camp and business. Tell me how those 2 things connect, because I'm missing it for a second time.
Okay, so boot camp, military guy, United States Air Force, 1980, 1984, and basic training, boot camp. So in boot camp, you learn cadence. Cadence of what? Cadence of doing drills, cadence of marching. There's even cadence of when you prepare for different events. There's a cadence. Everything you do. Think about it. The time in the military is what? 1:30 in the afternoon? 13:30. The date I enlisted in the military, June 29th, 1980. No, in the military it's 29 June, Jun 80. Everything has a cadence and a purpose, and that's what we have in business. Think about cadence as more of a rhythm of how you operate your business. So we have operational metrics. Cadence is the thing that sets your business apart from others because you review your cadence. Your cadence keeps you in step with each other in line. Department, operations, purchasing, sales, administration, leadership, marketing, etc. Cadence helps you stay in rhythm with each other as a corporate culture grows. That's what cadence does. And so here, in this cadence boot camp that we're doing, our goal is to let them experience boot camp from my perspective. And we go through boot camp in a really fast fashion, but we cover some hysterical things in boot camp, and we get the audience participants involved as well. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Any push-ups involved?
No, but there is a military drill involved, which is hysterical when people try to turn left that used to be in the military and they turn to the right. It's just fantastic.
Okay, I'll have to trust you on that one. Last but not least,
Yeah.
this keynote experience idea, the 7 traits of the greatest sales professionals. The number 7 seems to be kind of key here in a lot of your teachings. Tell us about this experience.
Yeah, so as a sales professional for the past 28 years and observing some people that are out there that I try to mimic and model my sales profession after, I've come to realize that sales professionals are missing out on some of those things. They're not investing in some of those key areas. One in particular is education. Now, I joke about this, but it's kind of, but it's real. God created Google on the 8th day. So when I go to a sales representative and I say, so what have you read, what have you learned new about your profession in the past month, quarter, 6 months, year? And I get crickets for the sound. That tells me this is a person that's destined to continue to be a sales representative for the rest of his life or her life, as opposed to someone who's investing in their career, polishing themselves to become a sales professional. So that's just one of the things, one of the 7 traits is great sales professionals are hungry for knowledge, not just about their products and services, but about the sales profession because it is a profession.